Okay, I've got some cash. We're at Goodwill. We're gonna go in and see if I can find something that we can take from junk and turn it into treasure. I really wasn't hoping to find a chair. I wanted to find something better, but this I kept in the back of my mind while we walked around the store. I saw this, but I did not think that was savable. Another chair, some kind of chest or box, but nothing really connected. So I went back and grabbed that chair. Here it is. Now it was $2. I talked her down to $1. She was willing to do it. Super nice, awesome time. Now I've got a plan for this thing. Let's see if it works. So here's the plan. I'm gonna take this chair, we're gonna refinish it because I have an old, beaten up, kind of gross desk that needs refinished, and I think this chair is gonna look perfect with that desk. That's the plan. So I do wanna mention something at the front here, because I think one of the things that a lot of people think about when they start getting into making stuff or doing stuff and thinking, hey, I need a whole bunch of tools. And that's farthest thing from the truth. You just need to get an idea and get started. Today, even after I picked up the chair, I had to run some errands, and a friend of mine who was getting rid of some of her things, her woodworking stuff, gave me a nice little palm-held Black & Decker sander that's gonna come in perfect for this exact project. And even that, here, look at this. So much of the stuff in my wood shop has been given to me by people who no longer need the things. Like here, this chop saw. Now, I didn't take the blade off or the guard off. I didn't take the guard off. That was given to me that way because someone was getting rid of that chop saw. And even the same person that was getting rid of that gave me this. I now have a jointer. Now, I don't know how the heck to use it. That's my first attempt, and that was horrible. Not good. Not good at all. Now, this table saw isn't the table saw that I was given, but I was given a table saw, and it broke, and I sold it, and I used the money to buy this one. All this wood was given because someone doesn't need it anymore. And that's partly what has inspired me to do this stuff on the channel here, because when you're generous with others, like, that generosity is contagious. So what can I do with the gifts, the skills, the things that I can make here in this garage wood shop that might bless other people and let generosity be contagious? That has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but just food for thought. Yeah. There we go. Ow. No. But I wonder if we take that screw out, we might be able to pull this out and take the entire back off. Do we even need to do that though? I don't think so. So this desk is for my kids, a place for them to do their homework. So I'm gonna check, will this chair fit under the desk that I'm gonna get to? And it doesn't, which is gonna change my whole strategy. Everything now has to be different. So let's get going. Let's pull off these legs. Let's figure out how to approach fixing this chair and now reshaping and remaking it into something that can actually work. So part of the idea is reshaping this seat like this, so that at its widest point, it would be at 17 inches, which would then fit inside the desk. However, I am really not sure what to do about the legs. Oh, hold up a second. What if, let's see, is this my Forstner bit size? Ladies and gentlemen, here's the plan. I'm gonna use the Forstner bit to put a hole in each of those pieces of scrap wood, then take a wedge and drive it in, making everything snug so that I can then use that to screw into the bottom of the seat. But I don't really think it through. I just jump and get going, and I should have sketched out a more detailed plan because it would have saved a lot of headache later in the video. So why am I doing this? I'm really doing this because I believe that my primary calling is not actually to be a pastor or a YouTuber, but instead to be a godly, loving father and husband. I want my kids to grow up knowing the Lord, and a big part of that is how I disciple them and how I love them through serving and providing their needs. One of their needs that they have right now is to be able to have a place to sit and do their homework in a better way. And so that's really what I'm doing here. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gives kind of some direction, or at least he makes a statement about even how evil people do good things for our kids. We love our kids and we even do good things. So how much more does God then do for us? I mean, not only does this kind of apply to what I'm thinking about here in the sense that, yeah, God can do so much more than even I can do, that I need to trust in him and trust in his provision so much more than I already do. This statement by Jesus is first and foremost a reminder that we must be trusting God, but it can also be a reminder that giving our kids a good life is not a high enough bar. It's not really the goal, is just to make my kids comfortable. Jesus then closes this section of Matthew 7, the Sermon on the Mount, with an illustration that there are two types of people, those who build on a firm foundation and those who build on the sand, and that those who have been listening to these words that he's been saying and put them into practice are those that build on the firm foundation. My goal is to be one that lives that out in front of my kids, in front of my wife, teaching them to do the same. So that leaves a question then for you. What are you building your life on? And is it one where you're actually trusting God, or are you just trusting yourself? I am so happy that I did that. So I've taken everything apart. Here. I got it all out. Everything is out. I've even been able, I don't know if you can see that, to get everything cleared out so that when we put the seat back on, we can put the wedges in, finish sanding this, we're rolling. We've got this little crack right in the front. Let's see if we can fix it. That's the second video where my dentist has come in clutch. I got a cleaning the other week, got some new dental floss, and we are gonna try to fix this crack with a little bit of dental floss. So here you're going to see I've got a helper, and I was doing some of this before school, before I get the kids off to school, and I rushed everything. Make some pretty major mistakes because I was just trying to rush through it. And just you're going to see. But back to what I was saying before, if we're looking to build our life on the foundation that's firm on the rock, how do we do that? Well, really, I think the main way we do that is by focusing and looking to Christ in all that we do and all that we say. And what that means is adopting his words and ways as our words and ways, following his instruction, letting them be our teacher and guide, kind of in the same way here that I'm laying out to my daughter what I messed up, how I didn't do it right, and showing her, hey, this is the right way that it should have been done. And even teaching her what screws are because she thinks screws are nails.
See, everybody? Gold nails. Gold nails. Nice gold nails. Gold nails.
And there's the problem.
Problem, 'cause it cracked off. That's the drill hole.
Yeah.
This is where he tried to put it in. Right there.
I need a drill bit. No. Ugh. I must have messed that up. That's not good. Let's see if it holds my weight, though. It's going to be wobbly. Oh, the back isn't secured. Oh, dang it. Take two. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. That's super uncomfortable. Okay, I figured out which legs need to go where. It's ridiculous. I was too distracted, too excited, thought this would go quick, and I rushed it. Luckily, we're gonna be fine. Everything's gonna work out. I figured out where everything goes. We're gonna slap down some glue, screw everything in. I think we're gonna be good. And then we gotta put in some wedges in here, glue this all up, and we'll be good to go. But luckily, building our house or our life on a firm foundation isn't really about us building or doing anything. It's about us trusting that what Christ has done for us on the cross has sufficiently covered our sin and washed us clean, that we now are made right by God. It's not about accomplishing all of the tasks God has set us out to do. It's not about putting our lives together in such a way that look nice and look pretty, and thank goodness it isn't, because much like this chair, our lives are a cobbled mess of frustration and mess up and sin and failing, where oftentimes we rush and do the wrong thing. And so, like here, we have to then clean everything up ourselves, but that's not the Christian life. The Christian life is relying on the work of Christ, that even when we fail, we recognize and see that Christ has succeeded. And no, this chair doesn't directly teach them that lesson, but it shows my love and care for them, and I can then direct that as well to say, just as I love you, God loves you even more. So I've made you wait long enough. Here is the final result of our dining room chair turned into a desk chair.